The soul of jazz is in Mexico. In its 5th edition, the New York Jazz All-Stars come to our country with the best talent and performers around the world. It has brought together over 150 musicians, around 100 assemblies, and gathered over 50,000 people at its events in Puebla, Torreón, Cuernavaca, Guadalajara, and Mexico City. The Quinta Producciones is the event organizer, and it wants to make professionals and amateurs come together through the music. Every Saturday until November, the most outstanding figures of jazz music will perform at the Roberto Cantoral Cultural Center in Mexico City. The New York Jazz All-Stars works together with the Jazz at Lincoln Center and Fomento Educacional. This means that the concert is not only for entertainment but for education. Every edition gets people to enroll in free master classes with one of the guest artists as their teacher. This year, the class will be taught by Walter Blanding, saxophonist from the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra and member of the Wynton Marsalis Quintet. Furthermore, the performers Camila Mesa Quartet, Jeb Padden Trio, and Miguel Zenon Quartet will delight the public with their melodies at the New York Jazz All-Stars 2017. Go.
So that's pretty cool, no?
Yes.
Some good jazz?
We've spoken about food, wine, and now
NAFTA negotiations,
negotiations,
North Korean nukes. Why not talk about jazz?
Eugenio Elias, jazz musician, thank you so much for joining us.
How are you? Nice to be
and
here.
Dan,
Good
my
morning,
man.
Good morning.
It's good to see you. And we're going to talk about nice things this morning
Yes,
with
we
you.
are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
What is this festival?
This is a concert series we've been having in partnership with Jazz at Lincoln Center since 2013.
Lincoln Center, New York?
Jazz at Lincoln Center is one of the constituents of Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts. And it consists on 9 concerts, one each month roughly, of internationally renowned jazz musicians that we curate this series in partnership with Jazz at Lincoln Center, as I said. And we've
This is in Mexico City?
In Mexico City at Centro Cultural Roberto Cantoral, a 5-year-old hall that it has excellent architecture and acoustics.
Is there any significance to the date? Is there any reason why we're doing it now?
Because it's fun.
Because it's been 5 years.
It's
It's been 5 years.
So
because we want to hear
It usually
jazz.
starts at the beginning of the month. It's a monthly series.
Yeah, we do it between March and November. The rest of the year will be the first Saturday of September, October, and November, and the last one in November, because we don't have one
How
month.
much do people listen to jazz in Mexico? How popular is
Quite
it?
a bit. It's become very, very popular, I believe, since Wynton Marsalis and the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra came in 2004, and around 60,000 people heard those concerts in Zócalo, the Auditorio Nacional, and Palacio de Bellas Artes.
Those are almost Madonna numbers.
Yeah,
It was big,
yeah.
and after that we started to have more and more jazz here, and artists coming from abroad, and young musicians interested in jazz.
You know, jazz is perceived to be American music. And you know, sometimes the anti-American sentiment kind of floats around in different, in the cultural environment. Do you guys feel that, or do you get no?
No, because although it is American, it feels American. It's been international for at least 80 years.
Right.
And nobody thinks about classical music as German
That's
music.
true. That's true.
So
Unless you're listening to Wagner.
it's a young,
Right,
it's a young artistic discipline. You know, it's only 100 years old this year. It's the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the first recording of jazz. and the 100th anniversary of Dizzy Gillespie and Ella Fitzgerald, so there's been all kinds of things. We had a great singer, Camille Thurman, who was featured in Jazz Lincoln Center for the Ella Fitzgerald Centennial a few months back.
And you're a musician. What do you play?
I'm a trumpet player. I'm a trumpet player with the Mexico City Philharmonic, and I'm a amateur jazz musician. I love jazz since I was a kid, but I went...
Is that the way it works? I mean, do you usually get the classical music training first and then you go into
It helps,
jazz?
it helps, but not necessarily. I mean, Wynton Marsalis is a great example of someone that did both very well. He was playing great classical music in his teens.
How does a Mexican kid get involved and love jazz?
Well, with social media and YouTube, especially the generation that has come with YouTube, I think that has had an impact because there's an availability of music and videos that were never available before of great historical importance.
And there is jazz teaching in Mexico. I mean, it's recognized as the only true American art form, some people say. And we're talking about international relations. And actually, the U.S. State Department has kind of recognized jazz can be kind of a cultural ambassador, and there are great jazz musicians who have actually been sponsored by the State Department and have gone around the world
since the 50s.
Since the 50s, like
Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington,
Dizzy Gillespie
Dizzy Gillespie, yes, they toured Russia and the Far East and South America.
It's actually a much softer diplomacy than some other.
So we need many jazz players coming to Mexico
we
right now.
need a lot more art education, and you know, because the art is very important. Although you know, technocrats and politicians might not have a consciousness about this, because art is our collective wisdom.
Right.
And the richer and the deeper that wisdom is, the better we are as a society.
You know, and what's so sad that with the cuts that Donald Trump's proposing to the State Department, these are the types of programs that are going to disappear. I mean, which would be a very, very unfortunate.
But if you look at the countries that work, you know, quote unquote, they all have great art programs, like Scandinavia or Germany or countries like that. They all have great music and arts programs.
Are there any, beyond Eugenio Elias, are there any excellent jazz musicians in Mexico, or that are up and coming?
Well, how do you compare to the rest of the world? There you go. That's the question.
Well, we have one of the, Mexico has one of the best musicians of the current generation, which is Antonio Sanchez, a great drummer, who has been playing
on the international scene. He's probably the most important
drummer.
Right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure, he did the soundtrack for Birdman.
And he became very popular through that, although he's been at the very top. He's toured all the world many times, like very few Mexican artists or musicians have done before. I put it up there.
And a drummer. I mean, we're not known to have a good beat.
He's no, he's top.
He was a gymnastics prodigy.
That's awesome.
Really? That's
but he started the drums at 5. Too.
Because, for example, trumpet. I mean, you mentioned you're a trumpeter, and Mexican trumpets are legendary in other.
mariachis.
And we had a great jazz trumpet player, Chilo Moran, who played with Frank Sinatra and did some of his career in the States back in the day.
You know, that's interesting, because you don't hear about you guys. And I don't know, maybe it's because we just are so focused on, I don't know, Timbiriche. I don't know what we're focused on.
Wow, you just totally dated yourself.
Banda, you know, I have
jazz is it's not commercial, and I think the fact that it hasn't been commercial has kept its integrity. When jazz becomes commercial, it means you know, music like Chris Botti or Kenny G. So
okay, Eugenio, I have to ask you this. Anybody who's watching our show, they want to attend this Jazz All-Stars?
We have a great quartet coming up with Walter Blanding, who's been playing with Wynton Marsalis for many, many years, on September 2nd at 8:30 p.m. at Centro Cultural Roberto Cantoral.
Centro Cultural Roberto Cantoral here in Mexico City.
And part of the program also, I'm going to plug for Eugenio here, they also do a master class before each concert.
Which is open to the public.
And it's free, and you actually get a discount if you attend the master class.
Oh, my goodness.
Added value.
40%. It's destined to young musicians.
Yeah, you obviously want to promote this,
right? Of course. We try to...
very philanthropic from what I understand.
And it's interesting, the master classes are interesting because I think they would be appealing both for musicians musicians and non-musicians.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, promise me you'll come back. It was great to have you on the show.
Eugenio Elias,
I'd love to. I'd love to. Thank you for having me.
We're going to go to
McCosh,
one more commercial break. Please don't go away. We're going to be right back.